I just got a package delivered. I love getting new things, and this is a ring light, and we are going to review it in this video. Welcome everyone, I'm Mark. This is the Average Me channel. We are going to be reviewing the ring light, and this is a round light, you'll see it in a moment, that illuminates a speaker when they're making videos just like this one. Now there's going to be a lot of little pieces that I'm going to be covering here, so I am going to divide it into chapters down below in the description. So if you want to hop right to the ring light, you can, but I would recommend that you look at every single piece because there's a lot going on here. Now I want to start by saying, why do you want a ring light? Well, lighting is really important in videos, and right now I am sitting at a table just getting natural light. You can already see there's kind of a heavy shadow on this side. I do have light coming in from over here from a window going to the outside, and I have one from over here. And when it's just the right time of day, it looks pretty good. But light changes outside. In just a little while, the sun's going to start setting, and you're going to see the light go through the blinds, and you'll see lines across my face, and we don't like that. We want to be able to control our lighting. So first of all, I'm going to say right out of the gate, this was a really reasonably priced product. I'm not sure, I think it was somewhere around $22. So, you can only expect so much, but let's talk a little bit about lighting. In general, in, for example, my studio setting, there are typically 3 lights. You have what's called your key light. That's the main light that is going to illuminate you. And in my setting right now, that would be the light that's off to this side, because you can see that's where most of my light is coming from. You also see, however, I'm casting shadows. So we have something called a fill light. An ideal situation, it's not ideal right now, we'd have more light coming in from this side, and that would soften the shadows, and that's a fill light. And then you have something called a backlight, which I don't have right now. What the backlight does is it fills in like a halo effect to draw you out from the background. Now I sort of have that because I have some ceiling lights that are falling on me just a little bit. You can see the shine on the top of my head, and it's just enough to create a little bit of distance, a little bit of pop, but ideally that's what you want. Now I haven't tried this yet, but I kind of suspect the ring light is going to be one light from the front, so everything's going to look kind of flat. When you have that key light and then a very soft, or not very soft, but a softer fill light, you see shadow. You just don't see real heavy shadows. And as a result, you do get to see that 3-dimension. It creates the illusion of 3-dimension. When we have this ring light right in front of me, I have a feeling it's going to flatten everything out. But we'll find out. So let's open it up and see what comes in this package. Okay, so as we open this up, you will see, and by the way, this is just how it was packaged. Actually, this light was face up. I've heard people say that they have gotten it damaged, and I can see why. It is not really padded or protected. So the first thing you get here is this stand, and this looks pretty good. It's I think 42 inches, so it's 3.5 feet tall, certainly more than you would need for most applications. Then we have the actual light, and this light operates off of a USB source, so you can plug it into the same power that you use, for example, a block that charges your phone, or into a computer, or what have you. Then over here, it says a bicycle mobile phone. What it is a mobile phone holder is what it is. And so in here we have a holder, and this did pop open in shipping, and there were pieces all over the box, but this is all just how it came, so we'll look at that in a bit. And finally, the last thing it came with was this remote, and the only instruction, this is, by the way, going to start and stop your camera, and it came with these directions, which are very, very general and very vague. So let's look at all these pieces. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the stand. And this is actually pretty nice. You loosen it here, and then you can just spread these legs out, and the legs spread out like that. And to extend it, you just tighten and loosen each of these pieces. So that is really, it's pretty substantial. I don't know if it's aluminum, but it is metal. And these locks, they seem to lock down pretty securely. So in general, this is pretty nice for a stand or a tripod that's going to hold your light. So this, I have to say, I'm pretty satisfied with. The next thing we have is the light itself. This is about 10 inches. We can measure it in a little bit if you'd like, but it's about 10 inches. And it has a screw on the top here, so that will screw right on to the top of the stand. It's a little awkward doing this with and trying to keep it in the frame of the camera, but that's how it goes. Okay, it stays on there, and you can tighten that once you have it pivoted. There's this little ring here, so you can tighten it and it'll stay in one place, or you can loosen it and it can pivot around. So that is pretty nice. And I'll plug it in now, and you'll see that it has 3 different settings plus a dimmable fixture, so you can make it lighter or dimmer and on off. So let me show you that. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this in focus or not. We'll see. Okay, so right here, this is on off. And then we have, let's see, this makes it brighter or dimmer. And then you can choose 3 different, I got to keep my hand here, it's going to go out of focus. You can choose 3 different types of light: a white light, a kind of warmer light, and then a real bright kind of a bluish light. And then you have the dimmer down here. So that's all the different controls. So let me get a USB power and plug it in. We'll show you what that looks like. I got myself a charging block. I'm just using the same type of charging block that you would use for a cell phone. And I should tell you that this cable that this is hooked up to, it's 6 feet long. So it's 3 feet from the light to the switch. And then it's only another 3 feet from the switch to the power block, which is really kind of tricky because that's not very long. So I had to get an extension cord. But you can see this blue light is on now, and let's give it a try. So we turn it on, and pretty basic. Now, when I push the next button here, and you can see that that's getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And then on the other end, it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. I'm not going to go full bright. And then the switch in the middle will switch to a different type of light. So you get a real white light, real bright, and then you get more. This one, it's sort of a, I don't know what you would call it. It's sort of a browner light and not so harsh. And then this is kind of in between. So it's white, it's got really blue or white. And let me describe this better, okay? There's 2 rings of light in here. One ring is white or blue, and then one ring is more orange. So you can either turn just the white light on, like that, or the blue light. And then you can turn just the kind of orange light, which makes it feel warmer. And then you can turn them both on. So it's kind of in between, all right? So that's the difference between the 3 settings. And you can see there is a difference here. Okay, we'll be illuminating me with this in just a minute. What I'm going to do is shut these windows over here. You can see it's, as the sun's setting, it's already getting darker here. Let's look at the other things in this box. So the next thing that we got is this. Now I'm going to say out of everything here, this is the thing I was most, I shouldn't say disappointed, but it's just kind of clumsy. The holder itself is really nice actually. And so this is what it looks like. And it's really pretty cool because I push this in and these side pieces open. I push the button, they close. So I open and close. So I had an iPhone 4, which is a pretty small phone, and it fit this. So all I have to do now, oh, by the way, on the bottom, it has these little feet. See that? Little feet here? I don't know why you can see that, but little feet that the phone can rest on. So the phone rests on those feet, and then when I push it in place, it closes. When I push aside, it opens up and I can remove it because this little trigger button here will cause it to close. It also just has enough tension, a little bit of tension here, that it'll push it up nice and tight. So the holder itself, I think, is pretty nice. So we'll bring the feet out, put my phone in it, snap it in place, and it really, it does hold it pretty securely. And then on the back is this little plate. There's 4 holes here, and you stick that little plate in there and then push it up and snap it in place. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. First, let's look at this bracket. This is designed so you can mount your phone onto here. So you have the ring facing you, and you put your phone on here. That way when you're recording with your phone, you are going to be able to mount it right to this stand. Well, because it is a bicycle, it's not a bicycle mobile phone, it's a bicycle mobile phone holder. This whole thing has to come apart, and that's what I don't like. I wish I could have just had it open up and have a little clasp or something. And here's the drawback to it. First of all, you have to take this whole screw out, and you got to be really careful because there's a little nut on this, and that nut is not permanently connected. Okay, I don't know what you can see this, but that nut there, right in there, is not permanent. If I tip it, that nut falls right out into my hand. Okay, so be careful of that because it does set in there, but it's not attached tightly in there. Now you'll notice all these pieces just kind of fall apart. So this is a little rubber piece that fits there. Okay, and then this side's the same. That little rubber piece will come out if you're not careful. And then it's got 3 different places that hinge can go. So if you have a bigger post that you're putting it on, you'll put it on the one that's further out. And if you have a smaller, you go to the one that's tighter. All right? So you would take this apart, you would put that around, this would be around the upright stand or post. Okay? And then you have to put this back in and tighten that up. So that's how that would go. And this now, yeah, see, everything falls. But this now, if, for example, my finger were the post, that's how it would be fitting on. And then I just tighten it, tighten it, tighten it. Okay. So what is this? Well, this is where you hook up the phone. So now I can tighten or loosen it to the upright. It's fine. It'll work. And I like the rubber because it won't slip, and that will reduce a little bit of vibration. I just wish it was easier, opened up and close it and snap it or something rather than have to go through all of that screwing. All right, so remember this plate that I put on the back. I'm going to take that plate off because I think it'll be easier. Now let's look at the bracket and how your phone attaches. By the way, if you just saw a jump, the weirdest thing happened. My camera just stopped recording for no apparent reason. Everything seemed fine, but I just changed the battery and changed my SD card, and it's all working now. So on the back here, you take this little piece off. You don't have to take it off, but I think this will be easier to demonstrate. And once again, that just snaps in and pushes up, and it attaches. Okay, but this is what's going to attach to the back of that bracket. So remember, this bracket is now on your tripod or your stand, your camera stand. And I'm going to pull these orange pieces out because they keep falling out anyway. That way they won't fall out on me. Okay, so here is how you attach that. This ring goes on first, and then this snaps over that ball. Okay, let me show you that again. You got the little ball, and you have this threaded ring. So this goes on, so the threads are facing the outside, and then this is that bracket, and that snaps over the ball, and then you can tighten that. And the tighter it goes, the more rigid this is going to be. The looser you make that, this will move more freely. So a heavier phone, you'll probably want that to be on really tight. And then I just take that whole thing and snap it in place. And you can see right now, that's a little loose, so I tighten that. And now that holds. Really nice. So this would be on my support, and it'll be holding my phone. So the bracket itself appears to be a nice bracket. The only thing I don't like, as I said, is having to unscrew that whole thing just to put it on and off. Then again, you may only have to do that one time. Once you initially have it on your stand, you probably won't take it off because, you know, you can just remove your phone just that easy. Just put the phone in there and snap it in place. So you might just leave this on all the time. And even if you want to take the bracket off, it's a simple matter to snap it off. So this is probably going to stay on there all the time anyway. Maybe not a big deal, but I wanted to point it out to you. All right. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to close the blinds on both the window and my patio door here. And I'm going to leave the overhead lights on, but I'm going to turn on this light. I'm going to set it up right behind my camera, and we're going to see how it looks. All right, now you notice that we're seeing these heavy shadows because all the light is coming from the ceiling. This doesn't look good at all. So we're going to turn this on. And we'll go through the brightness settings. Gets dimmer. Oops. There we go. Gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. We're going to get brighter. My camera's doing some compensating. But you notice as it gets brighter, it's illuminating me more heavily. Now what you're seeing here is a lot of flatness, but that's because we only have one light source. This is when it goes to the bluer light, or is that the whiter light? Okay, this is a warmer light. And this is both of them together. So, you know, if you are just doing vlogging, personal vlogging, it's not too bad. I'm going to see what happens if we leave this on and turn off the room lights. We're still going to get a little light leaking from the windows, but you're going to see primarily this ring light illuminate. This actually isn't that bad. Right now, when I look at this, I have this with both the rings on now, the warm ring and the blue ring. They are both illuminated. And actually, I think I would be pretty pleased with this. I would like this because a lot of times I'm doing videos from hotel rooms and they have atrocious lighting. And you try to get in front of the window. If it's nighttime, you don't have that. You have a few table lamps. So actually, what I'm seeing looks pretty good. It's slightly above my camera because if I put it down below, the camera would be blocking it and casting a shadow on. So it's slightly above the camera and it's a little bit of an angle coming down on me. That's why you're seeing a little bit of shadow underneath the neck. But overall, I like it. Now let's see what it looks like with the room light turned off. So we're seeing almost exclusively the ring light. Like I said, we're getting a little bit of leakage, but let's see how it looks. Ooh, spooky. So this isn't bad. I'm going to turn it off, and you can see what it looks like completely off. So you can see now my camera is compensating for, it's a really good camera, really good low light. This is what it looks like without anything. Now, as the sun sets, it's going to get darker and darker in here. And now let's wait for the camera to compensate. And this is what it looks like with just that ring light. Okay, and we'll try the different settings. It gets lower and lower. and brighter and brighter. And now let's try this is just the blue light. This is just the warm light. This looks way too orange for me. And this is both of them together, which is not bad. If you look at my skin tone, that's really what you want to watch for, is how natural is the skin tone. I wore a gray sweatshirt for this. I know it looks a little sloppy, but I did it on purpose so you're not getting my camera trying to adjust for color. You know, I used just a neutral color here so you can really kind of see what it does for flesh tones. I have a very, very fair complexion, you know, really white, light skin. So that gives you an idea. I don't know why I would ever use this one unless I was trying to simulate a fireside chat. This just looks way too orange, but I have to say I do like this. So let's get the lights back on in the room. That's going to lighten up the whole thing and we can concentrate more on this ring light. I'm going to jump in real quick and tell you about this remote control. This was kind of strange because it does just have two buttons on it. And the first one says camera 360 ISO, and the other I can't read. It looks like it's just, I don't know, in Cyrillic or something, but I can't read it. And I couldn't figure out how to do this, how to pair it with my phone until I realized, because they don't have instructions. Until I realized on the side here is a little button, and when I turn that button on, you can see that blue light start to flash. And once the blue light is flashing, then I can open up my controls on the phone and I can look to my Bluetooth, and pretty soon it will show right there. It shows AB Shutter 3. So all I have to do is click AB Shutter 3 and it worked fine. I set my phone to record. When I pushed the button, it started recording. When I wanted to stop, I pushed it and it stopped recording. So when you think about it, you get a lot of stuff, including this. I don't know how long this will last, how long the battery is going to be good for. It doesn't look like you can open it up and replace the battery. But it's on and off, so you're not reaching over and fiddling. And if you want to do a live stream, that looks real professional. You can push the button and everything starts streaming. So that's kind of neat. I'm guessing this bottom button might be for pairing it with Android, although it doesn't say Android. It says something weird on there. And push that up. That turns it on. Don't forget to turn it off. If you don't push that back down, I suspect that will eat away at the battery. So that is the wireless remote control that links to your phone through Bluetooth. So there we go. And I think I have it at its brightest setting now. Now it's getting dimmer. Let's see if I can lighten it up. Yeah, I had it at its brightest setting. I have to say, for 22 bucks, you get a lot of stuff. You get the stand, you get the ring light itself, and by the way, I measured it. Before I said it was about 10 inches, it's 8.5 inches across. You get the stand, you get the stand, the holder for your phone. That's a lot of stuff. What you don't get is the power source. You have to have a block to plug this into, like a charging block, or plug it into the USB port on a computer. I give it, for what it is, I think I give this an A. 22 bucks for a lighting system, and you can see it does a pretty good job. What'll really tell for me is when I get into those hotel rooms, but I think for what I need it for, this is really pretty good. So I'm going to link down below the Amazon site where I got this from, so you can see the exact same one I'm looking at. I have, as I said, seen some people that say they get them broken, but with Amazon you can send it back and they will send you a replacement. Fortunately, it didn't happen to me, but I will say that the packaging was a little, I don't know if sloppy is the right word, but I think they could have, wrapped it in bubble wrap or something like that. When that big heavy stand was right next to the ring, that's almost a recipe for disaster. But you can see we're getting really good coverage. There's not harsh shadows, so it's pretty soft. I mean, you're seeing a shadow as I move around, but it's not too bad. You know, we're not seeing a lot of bad shadows. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it, and I give this product an A. If you have any questions, leave them down below. As always, I encourage you to like and share the videos. If you're new to the channel or if you've never subscribed, click my face in the corner to subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell icon. That way you'll know when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Mark, and this is the Average Me Channel.